नमस्कार. आज आपण ITI प्रिन्सिपल गट ब परीक्षांसाठी जे काही मी पुस्तकामध्ये एक्सप्लेन केलेलं आहे हे थोडक्यात माझ्या या YouTube व्हिडिओमध्ये प्रसारित करत आहे. सर्वात महत्त्वाचं म्हणजे आपण आता चॅप्टर 1 पासून सुरुवात करणार आहोत. वी आर स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम चॅप्टर नंबर 1 and that is about the general education. A general education pertains to the education in India. Now, the education in India has been there for past almost 4,000 years, and it has become the foundation for growth in our country. The present educational system pertains to the equality, as well as it also prepares the students for the global leadership. And what is the importance of education? We must know that education itself, it enables you all for your potential. It also promotes the equitable as well as the just society. Education also drives the national development and also enhances the cultural preservation. It also supports India's global leadership, and it supports our country's growth. It also supports the equality and also the knowledge. Now, when you are seeing the global perspective for the Indian education, the sustainable development goals need to be seen. Our sustainable development goal given by the United Nations, SDG number 4, is about inclusive, equitable, quality education, as well as education as a driver for broader development goals. Now, we have to come to the National Education Policy, NEP 2020. NEP 2020, it also designed to revamp India's educational system. It also aligns with 21st century aspirations. It also ensures equitable access, top quality education, and also preserves India's heritage while promoting innovations. Now, we have to see the core structure as well as the goals. As you have seen, the NEP 2020, it includes the transformative reforms to India's educational system. It has been designed for extending the formal education to 15 years, including 3 years of preschool, that is from age 3 to 6, then implementing an inclusive strategy that groups marginalized categories as socio-economically disadvantaged groups, SEDGs. Okay, now that is the role of the, what is the role of the Ministry of Education? You must earn. Now, Ministry of Education was established in the year 1985. Then there were two departments. One was the Department of School Education, followed by Department of Higher Education. That was the second department. Now, when you're talking about the school education, there are certain bodies who are managing the school education across India. Number one is the Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, KVS, which manage the central schools across the country. Then, from the year 1984-85, new initiative was added, which came into being through Navodaya Vidyalayas across the country for developing the leadership of brilliant students in the rural areas. So, Navodaya Vidyalaya Sangathan or Samiti, which is the one which look after the Navodaya Vidyalayas across the country. Then there is also the NCRT, Then there is CBSE, Central Board of School Education, NIOS, NCTE, also National Bal Bhavan. Then there are schemes like Samagra Shiksha, PM Poshan, Ullas, and NMMSS. As you have seen, the new setup, you must say, that is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 structure. Initially, the Kothari Commission, through which the previous school system was designed, it was 10 plus 2 plus 3. Now, new system has been devised through which it is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Now, it also, the NEP 2020, as per this design, is focusing on inclusive education targeting historically marginalized groups. It also promotes the social mobility, it promotes social equality and inclusion of all sections of the society, our society. And it also reflects the India's very rich and diverse cultural heritage. Now, what is the vision of NEP 2020? That is New Education Policy 2020. It is basically the education which is rooted in Indian ethos. It also aims to make India a global knowledge superpower. It promotes sustainable development, human rights, and global citizenship. आपली जी मुलं आहेत, जी आपल्या या एज्युकेशन सिस्टम मधून तयार होणार आहेत, त्यांनी आंतरराष्ट्रीय स्वरूपाचं नागरिकत्व कसं घ्यावं किंवा त्याच्यासाठी कशा पद्धतीने तयार राहावं, हा जो दृष्टिकोन आहे, हा जी न्यू एज्युकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 ची आहे ही अवलंबती. नाव त्याच्यामध्ये काय काय रिफॉर्म झालेले आहेत हे आता आपण थोडक्यात पाहू. आता नंबर 1, the first most central thing is early childhood care and education, which is called as ECCE. Now, ECCE is the one which forms the foundation of NEP 2020. म्हणजे कुठेतरी हा पाया रचला गेला पाहिजे शिक्षणाचा मुलांच्या आयुष्यामध्ये. तर हे जे हा जो पाया हा पहिल्या स्टेजला रचला जावा याकरिता ECC ही त्यांनी इनिशिएट केलेली आहे. वेअर एव्हरी चाइल्ड in this country is expected to enter Balavatika or preparatory class before age 5. Actually तिसऱ्या वर्षापासूनच या एज्युकेशन सिस्टमची सुरुवात होते. त्यामध्ये this policy is emphasizing strengthening the Anganwadis across the entire country through improved infrastructure, better resources, and seamless integration with school clusters to create a cohesive early educational ecosystem. This is what this particular educational system, that is ECCE, is trying to mobilize across the country. Now, you have to understand what are the reforms are initiated in between. There is a very rather transactional or transitional stage or step which were taken by the government of India way back in 2009 by Right to Education. It had amended our constitution and made the right to education as the fundamental rights. आपलं मूलभूत हक्क म्हणून हा शिक्षण असलं पाहिजे आणि वय वर्ष 6 ते वय वर्ष 14च्या प्रत्येक मुलाला शिक्षणाचा हक्क हा आपल्या घटनेने दिला आहे आणि तो हक्क त्यांना मिळण्यासाठी राज्य शासन आणि केंद्र शासनानं कार्यरत राहिलं पाहिजे आणि त्या दृष्टीने प्रयत्न केले पाहिजेत. अशा पद्धतीचं शिक्षण पद्धतीमध्ये एक आमूलाग्र बदल घडून येणं हे महत्वाचं आहे. आता नाव दिस इज व्हॉट द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट रिफॉर्म in our educational system, and there were certain amendments, ongoing amendments in the right to education, which happened in 2012, 2017, 2019, and ultimately in 2022 for introducing the more functionality in right to education. Now, all those reforms, they are the ones who are strengthening the access, the quality, and the equity. What is the aim of this right to education? It is the right to education's main aim is to transform India into an equitable knowledge society. Now, the schemes for education in India are the ones who are designed to empower learners, teachers, as well as schools. The Indian classroom is generally a very rich classroom by which certain schemes have been introduced across the nation. The most important of is that Pradhan Mantri Poshan scheme. It is extended to all the Anganwadis. Earlier it was called as midday meal scheme. Now it is called as Pradhan Mantri Poshan scheme. Secondly, the scheme also includes regular health checkups of the children between that age 3 to 6, and also they are the monitoring ones which are monitoring the growth for children. Okay, and there is for ECCE there is a national curriculum and also pedagogical framework from age 0 to age 8 years. Now, into what is that overview of educational scheme need to be done. Number one is the government. Central government also supports quality and an inclusive education. It also focuses on student outcomes. It also focuses on teachers training and also gives way to more and more innovation. Now, these learning schemes also recognized as the most urgent and critical mission under NEP 2020. Then there is a Nipun Bharat mission, which also targets 100% achievements by class 3 by 2026 to 27. And there is another scheme or another segment of this policy is Parak. Parak is the one that center established for standardizing evaluation as well as assessment. Now, the foundation literacy and numeracy, which is FLN, it forms the bedrock of all future learning. Without strong foundation in reading, writing, basic arithmetic, students cannot progress effectively through higher educational levels because FLN, that is foundational literacy and numeracy, is very important for understanding the crux of new educational policy, which is the bedrock of all the educational systems across. Now, there is also Nishita. Nishita is the one which the initiative, it is national initiative for school heads and teachers holistic advancement. There is a full form is national initiative for school heads and teachers holistic advancement. Short form is Nishita. It is launched in 2019 by Department of School Education and Literacy, and the goal of Nishita is to elevate learning outcomes in elementary schools. Now, when we have to reach the scope of Nishita, the extensive impact is across the country for 42 lakh teachers and educators, which are empowered since 2019, and it is also there is the involvement of state councils for education and research training, as well as block and cluster resources for coordinators. Now, next initiative when we are learning is this FLN, progress status. FLN progress status, if you see, it is tracking foundational literacy and numeracy benchmark achievement for 2023 to 25. Now, 23 baseline was under 50 benchmark. And what is the progress in 2025? It is the steady improvement of this scheme. If you see this graph, you will see the data shows steady improvement in FLM outcomes, reflecting the impact of Nipun Bharat mission interventions across the states. Nishita online program is also being launched under the head online teacher training, which commenced in the year 2021 for secondary teachers as well, and via Diksha portal. There is a portal of the Ministry of Education. This is Diksha portal, and also NCRT, National Council for Educational Research and Training, are the ones who are coordinating this program. There are altogether 13 online courses. There are 12 generic courses, and there are 56 subject specific modules, which is one program altogether, which is independent. Now, the Nishita modules are designing the curriculum of for inclusive education. It is information communication and training, or ICT, in teaching. It is also the art integrated learning. It is personal social qualities need to be improved. Also, it is developing the leadership across the country amongst the educators. It is also designed for vocational education as well. It has certain gender issues, all right, which is school based assessment and also toy based pedagogy. Now, there are certain centrally sponsored schemes now, which is designed as Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, earlier it was called. Now it is called as Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. Also, there is a PM Shri as well as PM Poshan. Now, Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, if you see, it has a very wide approach. Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan is designed for a comprehensive school education. It covers pre-primary to class 12th. The education, the basic education is being covered, which is also designed to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal number 4 for quality education. Also, it is ensuring universal and inclusive access to all the children amongst that age group. Now, Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, which is also earlier called as Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, it supports as well as accesses the financial inclusivity in the education. It also provides the financial support for schools under states and union territories. It is also supporting the school establishment. It supports the infrastructure. It supports the uniform books. Also, it focuses on retention, special training, and transport as well. So it covers almost all aspects. सर्व जे काही शिक्षणामधले महत्वाचे जे विषय आहे हे समग्र शिक्षा अभियानामध्ये कव्हर करण्याचा त्यांचा मानस आहे या न्यू एज्युकेशन पॉलिसी 2022 अंतर्गत. आणि तो वर्षानुवर्ष अचीवमेंटसाठी राज्य शासन आणि केंद्र शासनाचे अविरत प्रयत्न चालू आहेत, ज्याच्यामुळे त्यांना जो सस्टेनेबल डेव्हलपमेंट गोल आहे नंबर 4 चा तो अचीव करायचा आहे. आता आपण जर पुढचं हे पाहिलात तर दे हॅव डन अ ग्रेट rather advancement in the teacher recruitment and training. Now, as you have seen, the India's educational system, it is facing a significant challenge, whereas around 9.4 lakh teacher vacancies were identified in the year 2023. This shortage is also disproportionately affecting the rural and remote areas. NEP 2020 is the one which prioritizing filling these vacancies in disadvantaged region to ensure equitable access to quality education. Now, the strategic recruitment is the one which drives and improved service conditions are being implemented to attract qualified educators to undeserved communities. Now, there are some special provisions under Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, which is also provided for marginalized groups. It is also support for the children with disabilities, with special needs. It also identifies, assesses, and aids, as well as it provides the appliances and braille kits for visually challenged and specially challenged children. There is also provision for stipends for girls with disabilities, which is around 2000 rupees per year for out of school children, which especially migrants. म्हणजे आपण जेव्हा पाहतो गावात किंवा शहरामध्ये मजुरांचे तांडे असतात, जे बांधकामावर काम करतात, वीटभट्ट्यांवर काम करतात, ऊस तोडणीची कामं करतात किंवा इतर काही प्रोफेशन मध्ये असतात, जिथं त्यांना मजुरीचं काम मिळू शकतं. अशा मजूर जोडप्यांची मुलं जी असतात, ज्यांना फॉर्मल एज्युकेशन घेणं शक्य नाही, त्यांना अशा पद्धतीचं शिक्षण उपलब्ध व्हावं, असं या अंतर्गत त्यांनी ठरवलेलं आहे. त्यानंतर टीचरचं प्रोव्हिजनल डेव्हलपमेंट आहे. ही सुद्धा पोषण बी और पढाई बी ही स्कीम जी आहे, ही अंगणवाडी वर्कर्सना साधारणतः अर्ली चाइल्डहुड एज्युकेशनसाठी तयार करतं. त्याच्यानंतर ओडिशासारखी जी राज्य आहेत, त्यांनी टीचर म्हणजे अंगणवाडीचे जे शिक्षिका आहेत, त्यांच्या भरतीसाठी मिनिमम जे क्वालिफिकेशन हे ग्रॅज्युएशन लेवलचं ठेवलंय आणि त्यांना प्रत्येकाला प्रतिवर्षी 50 तासाचं 50 अवर्स ऑफ कंटिन्युअस प्रोफेशनल डेव्हलपमेंट अॅन्युअली, म्हणजे त्यांना प्रति वर्ष 50 तासाचं प्रशिक्षण हे घ्यावंच लागणार आहे. त्याच्यानंतर आपण पुन्हा एकदा ज्या इन्स्टिट्यूशनल स्कीमचं त्या संदर्भात म्हणू, जर ही पॉलिसी आहे, ही मेमोरायझेशन टुवर्ड्स कॉम्पिटन्सी बेस्ड एज्युकेशन, जिथं स्टुडंट ही आर डेव्हलपिंग द डीप अंडरस्टँडिंग रादर दॅन सरफेस लेवल, म्हणजे वरचेवर न शिकता प्रत्येक विषयाचा सखोल अभ्यास व्हावा, अशा पद्धतीचं न्यू एज्युकेशन मध्ये त्यांनी काळजी घेतलेली आहे. त्यानंतर जे रेग्युलेटरी एन्व्हायरमेंट आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये विशिष्ट बदल करण्यात आला, जेणेकरून एज्युकेशन जे भारतातलं शिक्षण आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये वेगवेगळी स्वतंत्र अशी एज्युकेशन मॉडेल्स तयार होत आहेत. त्याच्यानंतर खाजगी शिक्षणासाठी इथं बऱ्यापैकी त्यांनी सपोर्ट केलेला आहे. त्याचप्रमाणे expanding access and innovation is being done. Then there is a key strategy in school rationalization, whereas grouping the smaller schools together to pool resources as well as improve infrastructure, enhance training quality and teaching quality. And this approach is generally ensuring the efficient utilization of limited resources. Again, we will come back to Samagra Shiksha, whereas innovations and holistic growth under this is being achieved, where the government is giving grants for the library as well as sports. It also has started Fit India movement, म्हणजे सर्व विद्यार्थी जे बालक आहेत, ही फिट कशी राहतील या संदर्भात त्याच्यामध्ये योगा सुद्धा आहे. त्यानंतर इन्फॉर्मेशन कम्युनिकेशन अँड टेक्नॉलॉजी सपोर्ट आहे, ICT सपोर्ट आहे. तिथं स्मार्ट क्लासरूम सुद्धा इंट्रोड्यूस करण्यात आलेले आहेत आणि इट इज ऑल्सो डिझाईन फॉर ब्रिजिंग द जेंडर एज वेल एज सोशल गॅप अँड देर इज अ ample provision to start vocational education at an early age. If you see, now we have seen this, now you can see the digital integration in the school education. Whereas Diksha, there is a Diksha platform which provides digital resources to teacher training and learning. Then there is a National Digital Education Architecture, NDR, which unifies the digital education across the entire country. As well as there is a technology enabled learning expanding access to quality education nationwide. There is also Rashtriya Avishkar Abhiyan, RAA, which is fostering the inquiry as well as innovation. It also connects the school learning to real life. It has application which focuses on science, mathematics, and technology. It also targets the students between age 6 to 18. Then RAA म्हणजे हा जे अभियान आहे त्याच्यामध्ये त्यांनी नॅशनल एज्युकेशन पॉलिसीचं जे विजन आहे ती त्यांनी क्लब केली ज्याच्यामध्ये त्यांना हायर एज्युकेशनल इन्स्टिट्यूशन्स आहेत त्यांचं मेंटरिंग लाभलं पाहिजे. टीचर्स ते त्यांचे ग्रुप तयार झाले पाहिजेत. सायन्स आणि मॅथ्स याचे क्लब स्थापन करणं हे देखील अपेक्षित आहे. आणि वेगवेगळे म्युझियम हाऊस तयार झाले पाहिजेत. त्याच्यानंतर जसं आपण गणिताचा ऑलिम्पियाड पाहतो किंवा सायन्स ऑलिम्पियाड अशा पद्धतीचं ऑलिम्पियाडचं विद्यार्थ्यांमध्ये आयोजन झालं पाहिजे. आणि जे कंटेम्पररी सब्जेक्ट आहेत विशेषतः कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्ता म्हणजे आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजन्स, त्याचप्रमाणे डिझाईन थिंकिंग, ऑर्गॅनिक लिव्हिंग आणि इट ऑल्सो बिल्ड्स a 21st century skills for all the students. The students need to be prepared for the present 21st century for all the possible skills which are relevant to date. Now, the most important is multilingualism म्हणजे बहुभाषिकता ही सुद्धा आली पाहिजे. त्याच्यामुळे आपण पूर्ण देशाने हा 3 लँग्वेज फॉर्म्युलावर त्यांचा जास्त भर आहे. त्रिभाषा सूत्री असं आपण मराठीत म्हणू 3 लँग्वेज फॉर्म्युला. Maharashtra has already adopted that, whereas Marathi basic the mother tongue, so it is number 1 followed by English as well as Hindi. Then mother tongue म्हणजे मातृभाषेत इयत्ता 5वी पर्यंत शिक्षण दिलं पाहिजे असा दंडक आहे. आणि रिजनल लँग्वेज क्लासरूम लर्निंग म्हणजे इतर ज्या प्रादेशिक भाषा आहेत या सुद्धा वर्गामध्ये शिकवण्यात याव्या अशा पद्धतीचं त्यांचं भर आहे. तर आपलं हे प्राथमिक एज्युकेशन ते उच्च प्राथमिक उच्च माध्यमिक शिक्षणापर्यंत आपण या छोट्याशा अशा व्हिडिओमध्ये कव्हर केलेला आहे. आता आपण नेक्स्ट व्हिडिओमध्ये टेक्निकल एज्युकेशन आणि व्होकेशनल एज्युकेशन कव्हर करू. धन्यवाद.